there, comic book friends. I'm Travis, and it's a big comic book haul. Well, big comic book haul for me. I talked about this in a prior video that I'd gotten a bunch of Vertigo books from a friend of mine who is kind of reducing their collection down to a few things because they're just not necessarily into comic books so much anymore, and so they need more space for their other projects. So I am the beneficiary of that happening. And this is all Vertigo books. Of course, just to be a jerk right off the bat, I'm going to show some books that aren't Vertigo books. This is some Wildstorm books. This is The Highwayman. No, little to nothing about it. Written by Barden and Freeman. Garbett is the artist on the book, which was the reason I kind of wanted to get it, because I wanted to see what this was like. This is 2007, so 10 years ago. And just how much the guy's art has changed. I mean, he's on... last thing he was on was, I want to say, Vertigo's Lucifer. Before that, he was on a bunch of Loki books and whatnot. I really like him as an artist now. And like I said, his art has changed a bit. So I'm curious. I'm curious to read this. I'm always curious about some of the Wildstorm stuff. I have not read a whole lot of it. And the price was right, free. So what the heck, right? So issue number 1, issue number 2, issue number 3. I have no idea what this book is about, to tell you the truth. Issue number 4, clearly some sort of spy thing going on. I think there's a little bit of chitty bang bang going on it because there is a flying car. I did look at that when I was rebagging this stuff and checking it out. So yeah, so that is the Wildstorm stuff. Now, everything else in here is Vertigo books. I have some kind of weird idea in my head that maybe someday I'll actually collect all the Vertigo titles. Not that all the Vertigo titles are necessarily worth collecting in the principle of, oh, they're all good because they're Vertigo. I mean, I don't really necessarily subscribe to that. Just like, you know, oh, it's an image book, you know, a modern image book, so therefore it's all good. No, but at any rate, so yeah, it's just a smattering of some books that I got from my friend. So let's check some of them out, and I'll talk about them. What I know, I haven't read any of these, so what I know about a lot of them is not a whole lot. So first up, this is a miniseries called Ghost Dancing. It's a 62 miniseries. This is from 1995. This is in the heart of my hiatus from comic books because I was busy paying for mortgages and brand new children and college and stuff like that. Just things that got in the way. Well, 95 wasn't children yet. 95 would just be mortgages and school debt. Right. Anyway, creators of this book, Jamie Delano, who did a lot of Hellblazer stuff. That's the reason I would be getting this and interested in it. And Richard Case, of course, who was the artist that did most of the Grant Morrison's run of Doom Patrol, which ended up being another Vertigo title, right? So there's Ghost Dancing, issue number 2. I don't know how problematic this story is. Jimmy Delano, the best of my knowledge, is a Brit. He is from England, and of course this has to do with ghost dancing, which is a Native American thing. So, and this is 1985, so I don't know how politically correct this might be or not be. But at any rate, some interesting covers. I'll definitely be checking out. This is one of the ones I definitely, plan on reading sooner than later, I would guess. Just because Native American stuff is an interest of mine. We'll see how problematic the story is. And I like the creators. I like both creators on the book. So I'll be curious about it for that. That is Ghost Dancing. Move some of the stuff out of the way. This is going to be a long video, by the way, because I have lots of comics. 101. In this pile. So here is Nevada. This is another Vertigo miniseries. This is from '98. Steve Gerber, Phil Winslade, and Steve Leola. Well, if I remember correctly, Steve Gerber is Howard the Duck, right? I believe. Anyway, Nevada. Not sure who our main character, what her name is here, but she has a pet ostrich. She is a showgirl of some sort, I believe, but she dances with this pet ostrich and does other stuff with this pet ostrich. So I am really curious to read this just for that sake. I love this issue, this cover. It's issue number 2. So we're looking at what I'm assuming is a crime scene, a body floating there, and people are checking out. He's like a policeman, whatever, and he's going to fish this body out. But we're looking at it from the bottom of a swimming pool. So we're under the water. That's why you get this great, wonderful distortion and whatnot. And the only thing that isn't distorted is our somewhat large man floating in the water. So I really dig that cover. That's a cool cover. Next we have number 3. There she is, still hanging out with her ostrich, and everybody else is kind of freaking out about that. Number 4, I don't know what's up with the moon, smoking the cigar and whatnot, so that's kind of fun. I have no idea, like I said. You know, here's our kind of a jungle motif. And I don't know if this matches up to the type of showgirl she is, what the show is that she does. I have no idea. And then finally we get her with a flaming sword and a really mad ostrich. So yeah, no idea whatsoever. But it looked like it's going to be some fun. Another book I definitely am going to be checking out sooner than later. The Crusades. This is actually a square bound issue. So this is the Crusades urban decree. The Dark Ages began again in the most vicious era of the human history, the present. So this is like a one-shot written by Stephen Siegel, pencils by Kelly Jones, and inked by Jason Moore. So great Kelly Jones art through this thing. And like I said, this was like a deluxe thing, and then it goes into a run, a reasonably healthy run of a regular comic. So this came out, I believe, of course, there's no date on the cover of this, but I believe that this came out in end of '98, maybe the very, very beginning of, 99, maybe the 2000. Let's get my dates straight. 2000. This is in May of 2001 is when issue 1 comes out. Like I said, Kelly Jones doing the pencils, so you get your classic. If you're familiar with Kelly Jones, I'm familiar with him from things like Dead Man and stuff like that. But clearly, he's done all kinds of other stuff. He's done his Batmans and whatnot. You know, he definitely has his own style. I'll open up this first issue to see if I can some naked bits here and there. So I mean, so it's yeah. Anyway, it's just kind of moody kind of stuff. None of this stuff really shows his kind of. He's kind of like Richard Corbin in a way, in that he kind of stylizes, he stylizes people's faces and bodies, and he doesn't just disproportion women; he'll disproportion men too. So it's not like, he's being really horribly sexist. But I mean, I guess to some degree he is. So there's some naughty bits and whatnot. But anyway, I believe the story basically is there's this magical entity, I don't know, called the Crusader or the Knight or something like that. And there is a woman who either is fired from her job working at a newspaper, or she uses this character, this supernatural character that shows up to fight crime in San Francisco, as the catalyst to further her career, one way or the other. So look like it might be some fun. Number 2, number 3, great covers. The covers, some of these covers, there's Buckingham doing some of the artwork on it. I'm not sure who that cover is. Some of these covers, though, like this cover is Zedgewick. I can't say his name, but he does some current stuff, a lot of current stuff and whatnot that would be recognizable to some people. Like he did Starve. He did the art in Starve, for instance. Last thing I know they did. Here's some art with Cameron Stewart. So I don't know if that is... I don't know if that name is... I mean, because Cameron Stewart, during this era, 2001, he would have been doing the inking mostly, I think. So I don't know if he's credited there for, you know, for doing some of the inking, or if he's credited for something else on the book. Yeah, he's one of the inkers. Jason Moore did some of the inking, and he did some of the inking. So I don't know how consistent or inconsistent that'll make it going through this story, but definitely plan on, like I said, excuse me, checking them out and reading them. Here are issue number 6. Issue number 7, really I find that cover interesting. It's got that kind of Picasso-esque modern art kind of style to it, which I think is kind of cool. I'm not sure who did the cover art on that one either. There's Randall. He's another inker. I actually own some original work of Randall, some Doom Patrol pages that Randall inked. So I don't know if Jones on this book, if Jones is slow getting the pencils done, so it takes 2 inkers to do it, or if Moore can't keep up on the inking. Speaking of Richard Corbin, there is a Richard Corbin cover. You know, classic Richard Corbin mouth, nose, the big wide eyes, the other amply round parts on the women. So yeah. So, issue number 9. Issue number 10. And see, now it's just Randall. It's just Randall doing the inks at this point. Issue number 11. Issue number 12. Most of these covers, I don't know if you know that signature, because a lot of times, I'm not sure if this is the era where they start. Here, I'm going to waste your time again. This is the era where they start telling us the cover as Duncan Fegredo, F-E-G-R-E-D-O, Fegredo. But I think that's who does most of the cover art. And a lot of these that look like just kind of painted style, I think, is his. Issue number 13. Kind of a change in the style of the book as far as the covers go. 14. See, it's a kind of a reoccurring kind of a title theme now. This is all part of this, the Third Crusade storyline, it looks like. 15. 16. Oh boy, can you see those still? I'm not looking at my camera. 17. Number 18. Number 19. And number 20, which is the final issue. It actually has a thing in the back. As I was bagging this, I noticed in the back of it actually had a thing written about how this was the end of the series. They didn't tell anybody this was going to be the last issue. They kind of wanted just to tell the story without having to answer to other stuff, and so that's what they did. They ended the story how they wanted to. You know, the sales weren't there for a while, I guess, but then they ended the story how they wanted to and didn't want to tell anybody beforehand, so that's kind of cool, I guess, to do that. A book I've always been curious about. I remember seeing it around, sitting on the proverbial shelves. Not that I have shelves to look at. Back when I was first jumping back into comics and stuff. This is The Exterminators, written by Simon Oliver. Tony Moore does the art on it. It's a bug's world, and we just live in it. So clearly has to do with Exterminators. To what extent the story goes, I have no idea. It's one of those books I will definitely be reading for sure. So yeah, issue number 2. I really don't like bugs, though, so it'll be lots of fun. Issue number 3. Oh, I got eating the cereal, the roaches in the cereal and whatnot. Ugh. Issue number 4. Number 5. I didn't mention this is 2006. 6. 7. Rat versus Luchador. That'll be an awesome one. Andy Parks on here now, so I think Andy Parks is probably doing some of the inking, would be my guess. I know he's an inker. Check out this one. So this is issue number 8. Written by Solomon Oliver, of course. And who's that on art? Chris Samney. So what's up with that? Issue number 8. This is 2006. Well, this is before he was a rock star, right? See, I wouldn't even know this was him. Just looking at it. Okay, let's find a page that doesn't have naked people on it. Oh, everybody's topless in this issue. But I don't know. I mean, right? Not the same. Just clearly not what we're getting now. He either really defined his style over time, or you know, he was mimicking the other artists that are on the book instead of doing his own thing. Like, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? I would have never looked at that art and went, "Hey, that's Chris Samney. Wow, that's the guy that just did that awesome run of Black Widow and whatnot." So, and Daredevil. I'm flipping pages here because I want to see the actual credits. Where is it at? Oh, this is ridiculous. Yeah, Chris Samney, guest artist right there. Crazy, huh? Brian Buccellato, who we know, doing the colors. So he's been doing colors for quite some time. Of course, you know, he did a bunch of writing here recently for DC. Now he's back to just basically doing colors. I haven't seen him writing a whole lot, other than maybe his image books, but he is back to doing a lot of coloring again. So anyway, that's awfully strange, huh? Issue number 9. Issue number 10. Issue number 11. I do like that cover. Monkey with the wild headgear and whatnot. Yeah. It looks like Mike Hawthorne took over doing art for a while here. Issue number 12. Issue number 13, Tony Moore back on it. Issue number 14, a little bit of yin and yang with a squirrel. Issue 15, uh-oh, blurred out because them bugs are having sex. John Lucas is on the book now. Issue number 16. Issue 17. Looks like we got artists jumping all over the place now. Ty Templeton on the book. Issue 18. I'm always curious about any of these Vertigo books that go past a year. Seems like a lot of them don't. There's all the ones that everybody knows, and they're the really strong ones, and then there's the ones that are, you know, all short and whatnot. So, issue number 20. Issue number 21. Issue 22. Issue 23. Far out, man. Some cool Beatles. Issue number 24. Of course, you can't have a comic that has some bugs in it without at least having one Death Head moth in it, right? Issue number 25. Issue number 26. Issue number 27. And I tell you, that cover looks like art from Ms. Marvel. Don't know if that's the cover artist, but sure looks like it. Doubt it, probably. But issue number 28. Tony Moore's back on the book. Issue 29. I'm going to have to pull these down here a second. And issue number 30. Is this the end of the Exterminators? And of course, they're all pinned like you would have your bug display. So, lots of fun. See, another comic that I actually own a couple issues of, just here and there, but don't actually own the whole run of. Now I do. The Filth. Issue number 1, Us versus Them. This is a series of 13 books. This came out in 2002 for the whopping price of $2.95. It is 23 pages right there. They're willing to tell you, 23 pages. So, good price for 23 pages. And you know what? Really, DC books haven't gone up that much since then. This is, like I said, 2002. We're talking 15 years. At any rate, Grant Morrison, Chris Weston, and Gary Erickson. So, issue number 1, Us versus Them. I love these covers for all of these. Here's Filth number 2, The Perfect Victim. I just love the iconic, the graphics. Oh, 22 pages of this one. Little Hitman there. Anyway, cool stuff. Issue number 3, Structures and Ultra Structures. Let's see. Here we go. Issue number 4, Shit Happens. See? Warning, be careful. Shit happens. Issue number 5, Pornomancer. Right up our alley, right? Well, that's done with the X's and O's and dollar signs from a typewriter. Right? Gives you your cover design. Kind of fun. And of course, we follow up Pornomancer with A World of Anders Kilomex. Clemex? Anyway, I kind of love that cover too. Don't know why. I always like the imagery of the egg and the sperm. Anyway, cool stuff. Issue number 7. Issue number 7, Zero Democracy. That feels like about now, huh? February 2003. Here we go. The Filth, issue number 8. F the Police. Issue number 9, Inside the Hand. Look, it's inside the hand. Gives you all the bits and pieces of the inside of the hand. Pretty cool. Gives the gross square footage of a hand, too. Issue number 10, Man-Made God. Oh, just cool stuff. Love it. 11, A Very English Nervous Breakdown. Grant Morrison being English. Makes sense. The Filth, issue number 12. Schizotype. And finally, The Filth, issue number 13. Them versus Us, right? How did we start this whole thing out with? Us versus them. Now it is them versus us. Definitely going to be checking that out. Getting down to the last of it. So next up we have the Vinyl Underground issue number 1. Simon Spencer. Simon Spencer, right? Maybe not. Gain, I think it's Simon Gain for sure, right? That's what I'm most excited about, Gain on the artwork. He's doing, They're Not Like Us right now. I really love his style. He has his own unique, Cy Spencer, Simon Gain. Cameron Stewart does the inks on this. And Guy Major is doing the colors. The covers are I think almost all Sean Phillips covers. Just let you know. John Phillips, who of course is currently working with Ed Brubaker on all of their wonderful stuff that they've been doing. This is a December 2007 book, The Vinyl Underground, Cracking Occult Crimes in the UK. So Simon Gaines' artwork still looks cool in this, but it isn't as strong as it is now. I think partially due to the fact that Cameron Stewart is doing the inking on it. Not that Cameron Stewart is a bad inker by any means, but when Stewart inks it, it changes the depth of line of Gaines' work, and so you can still tell that it's Gaines' work by people's faces and mouths and whatnot, but just doesn't have the same kind of details that it would have if it was just if it was just him doing the work. I mean, the chins, some of the hairstyles, but definitely the chins, the noses, lips, and stuff like that are just strongly Gain, just strongly Gain work. It just looks like him. So looking forward to that anyway for the art. But just thumbing through it while I was bagging this stuff, I noticed that with the Stewart doing the inks on it, it does tend to change a little bit. Anyway, there's issue number 3, issue number 4, number 5, issue number 6, new crime case begins. Number 7. Number 8. Love that one with the guy hanging from the bridge there. The watercolor looks. Good stuff. Number 9. Number 10. Number 11. Number 12. Final issue. 12 issues is all it went. Looks like it should be pretty cool to check out too. Next up we have The Faker. It's a mini-series. Everyone has something to hide. Mike Carey, famous for writing the original Lucifer, I believe. Also writing things like The Unwritten, Suicide Risk, things like that. And of course, Jock. A lot of us know Jock from Jock's Batman art. Largely, I think, is where a lot of people get pretty excited for his artwork. So The Faker, not 100% sure exactly what all this has to do with. I love that cover, by the way. This little splatter of color here and whatnot is just really cool. But the story doesn't seem as moody as what I feel like typically we see Jock doing artwork for now. So the artwork doesn't seem as strong. I don't know that it's not that he doesn't have the chops back in 2007. It's just that it doesn't have, it's not as dark and as moody, and so therefore you don't get as much as his heavy inking that you typically get out of a lot of his work you see now when he's doing Batman and stuff like that. But yeah, issue number 2 with The Faker. Issue number 3, love that one with the test tubes and whatnot. That one's kind of cool. Issue number 4. Number 5. And the final issue, number 6. It's good stuff there. And then the last 2 things I have is The Horist by Jamie Delanto and David Lloyd. David Lloyd, I guess, famous for V for Vendetta. It is a square-bound title. It is John Constantine's stories. This one, I can't remember. Trying to remember when it was put out. This is book 1. There's a book 1. There's a book 2. Some great stylized artwork in it. Looks like classic John Constantine Hellblazer stuff because, well, for one thing, Jimmy Lando wrote Hellblazer. Quite a bit of Hellblazer and whatnot. So, and I think David Lloyd has done at least an issue. David Lloyd did an issue of Hellblazer that was written by Grant Morrison, which was kind of cool and fun. So this is 1995. Yeah, is when this one came out. I love the square bound, no ads format. Pardon me, because it still feels like a floppy. instead of a trade. So I like that. And then there's number 2. There's number 2. When did it come out? How much longer afterwards did it come out? January 96. It's not too far apart from each other. And that is it. That is my Vertigo. I would suspect I've got more on the way. If this didn't totally bore you to death, maybe I'll do the rest of them when the rest of them come in, or do them in lots. Anyway, thanks for watching, and catch you later.